letters of intent, and you can ask your lawyers, are not worth the paper they're written on because they don't hold you accountable for anything. So we wanted to talk about this love affair with a lot of paperwork that means nothing. All right. This is the most hard-hitting episode we've ever done.
Jun jun. Jun jun jun.
I like it.
I'll do sound effects.
Thank you. We got a lot of requests for a lot of things, and the one thing we always push against is when people just want to see a lot of paper. So we're calling this episode Paper Masturbation.
Jun jun. No?
Can it be lower?
I think that's as low as I got. And go higher.
You can go higher?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try it. Let it be natural.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to force it.
No, please.
So the whole idea of this is we get a lot of people coming to us saying they're going to raise money, a lot of people asking for paperwork, and a lot of times people are asking for letters of intent from us. Letters of intent, and you can ask your lawyers, are not worth the paper they're written on because they don't hold you accountable for anything. So we wanted to talk about this love affair with a lot of paperwork that means nothing. And it goes back to how we run the incubator. Like, we don't like redundant. We don't like activities that are just done to have the activity. So chime in with your dun-duns.
It's more of a chun, I see it as like a chun chun, like a CH.
Oh,
more of a CH situation. That's fine, though. We don't have to get into semantics. What's a letter of interest, Bob, or a letter of intent? What you want to call it, no matter what you want to call it.
So basically, it's a letter that says, if you do this, I might decide to buy your product or give you money. It's literally a letter saying, I might.
Yeah.
So it means nothing.
You could get an LOI for a sale of your company, right?
You can get it from investors. You can get it from distributors. You can get it from resellers. You can get a letter of intent from anybody. It's literally worthless.
But it's not legally binding.
It is not legally binding.
It's usually hinged on some sort of due diligence. C or no? C is
C
Spanish
plus.
for yes.
C plus. Because it's also contingent if they feel like doing it at some point.
Are you saying C is in the letter or C is in
No,
Spanish?
I'm speaking
for
Spanish
yes?
to you.
I don't speak Spanish, Bob. I'm going to tell you this.
Mi amigo. C.
Don't yell at me.
Cerveza.
Por favor.
Salsa and I don't know the word for
Chips.
chips.
I just put ES on the end of things.
All our Spanish-speaking friends, please tell us how to speak Spanish.
They've all been deported, Bob. I'm just kidding.
You just dated this episode.
Yeah.
It's the new year. It's
things
more
are
positive.
going. Things
We're
are
so
going
positive
south
this year.
Things are heading south, literally.
It could also be the title of your OnlyFans.
Heading
channel.
south?
No, Paper Masturbation.
It's too late. I already named it Heading South. My OnlyFans is Tease Toes, at Tease Toes. I'll send you the socks I'm wearing today for the low price of $40 million. I got weird toes, Bob. That's neither here nor there. The letter of interest. Letter of intent.
Or any paperwork that isn't binding.
Well, here's a story. May I tell a story, if I may?
Is it short?
It can be.
Okay.
When I first signed the lease on the building we sit in right now, the landlord of the space had a great phrase to me. When it came time to renew the lease, he said, the paper's only as good as the two people that sign it. And the second thing he said to me was, you're going to want to bleep this one. If you're going to me, you're going to me. Which means...
Was that a come on?
I don't think so. He was an elderly man.
Well, you just talked about elderly men at the track liking you, so...
That was more of an escort. That was more of a professional service situation.
I'm sorry. I live in a little bubble.
Yeah. Don't leave the bubble, Bob. It's safer.
I'm never going to leave my bubble.
It's safer there. But I do believe what he said was true, which is you can sign all the contracts and the LOIs and all the paperwork you want. If you're doing business with a partner that you don't find fundamentally trustworthy, it doesn't matter what the paper says, they're going to try and you. And if you have paperwork that's good. You have some sort of recourse that is enforceable by law, hopefully, if it was well crafted, but it's still going to cost you a bunch of money to enforce it. The best thing you can do is have good partners. The paperwork kind of keeps you honest and gives you a game plan, but that shouldn't be what you hinge on to keep someone honest or keep them at the table. And I think that that's where an LOI can fall short.
Yeah, I was taking it from the other side, is that sometimes in certain programs, not here,
Sure.
they want you to go out and get all this validating material that isn't validated.
Well, that's so,
the busy work that it literally drives me insane.
Bob, I'm going to let you in on my notebook right here. What's this say right here? What's that say? Boom. Follow the arrow.
How to validate.
Bingo. Hello.
It also says T is great.
I mean, listen, it's all about self-realization, self-actualization. That is the real question that you're trying to answer with an LOI, right? Is how do I validate my product or product idea in order to go to the next level? That's my question to you.
That was the question?
Yeah.
See, I don't think an LOI does that.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Give the people the secret formula.
Oh, a secret formula.
The myth.
I don't have a secret formula.
The man, the myth, the legend.
If you're going to spend time working on your product, I want market intel. So if somebody tells me I have to go get a piece of paperwork, hold on. If somebody tells me I have to go get a piece of paperwork that they'll work with us, and that paperwork has no binding agreement, like I'm going to take 1,000 units,
Yeah.
it's pointless activity. That is busy work that drives me insane.
Yeah.
Okay. The validating point should be I know my market. I know my customer. I know how my customer is going to use the product. I know what features I have to do versus the features I can add later, which is called what?
Product market fit.
I was going to say the Caro model of must have versus nice to have.
Oh, okay.
You don't like that one?
Yeah. Well, because I think that is very subjective person to person.
But it shouldn't be. It should be based on your target market. It's what your target needs to have in this product and what they would like to have and what they're going to pay for, absolutely, and what they might not pay for.
Well, what they're going to pay for, I think, is one thing, but you might have different demographics that may have all different must-haves.
Yeah, but we're trying to find the alpha, the mover. Right?
Yeah. Well, I think that's an important point, which is not necessarily what's your ultimate product offering, but what's your first mover product offering. And what's your beachhead market? What's the first market you're going to go into?
But we digress because we're talking about paper masturbation.
Yeah. Which is the... Never mind.
I don't even know where you're going with that.
Nowhere good.
So I'll use some experience. So when we were starting our film company, every investor said, go get distribution paperwork. And we would collect reams of distribution paperwork. And when you read it, it's like, we'll pick up your product if it reaches a certain standard that isn't laid out. We might pick it up if the market's right. And I was like, you're making me run around the country getting this distribution paperwork. Like, either give me the money or don't give me the money.
Yeah.
That paperwork doesn't mean anything to my business.
Or even like a lot of distribution sales agreement, not even sales agreements, distribution paperwork for some large chain stores is like, they're very clear in there that they say, this is what we're interested in, but we are not responsible for anything that you buy or any arrangements you enter into up until the time we may or may not cancel this contract, right? So if I sell 1,000 bottle openers a month to Williams-Sonoma, just for example, I'm not picking on them for anything. This is not a real example. Don't sue me.
Are they in business
and
anymore?
then, yeah, I mean, I don't know. But
I don't think they are.
And then they go, actually, we're canceling that contract. And I go, well, I laid out $50,000 in materials. It says very clearly in there, that's on you. That's not on them.
QVC too.
Yeah.
If they pick up your product, they pick up a quantity, but guarantee no sales.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So that's why we say, like you said, paper masturbation. And I was going to say before, the best way, in my opinion, to get market validation are sales orders.
Real sales orders.
Yeah.
You can even do that on crowdsourcing platforms. Pre-sell orders.
Yep.
Which I'm a big fan of. Yeah. You're not?
No, well, I think it depends on your product and your brand.
Can you share a paper masturbation joke now?
I was just going to say, historically, worst way to masturbate.
That wasn't worth the wait.
That was nothing?
Just bleep the whole thing
Nothing
out.
on that? All right. Well, sometimes I just got to amuse myself.
Oh, dun dun. Yeah.
Leads
I
us
can't make
right
the chung whatever you
back
make
to
it.
Jung Jung. It's kind of like a Law and Order without
Yeah, I
paying,
think you just broke
without
a
paying the
trademark.
royalty to Law and Order.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
No, because I'm doing a different pitch than they're at.
Oh, that's the reason
yeah.
why. It's just
Anyways,
not completely unprofessional.
but yeah, I mean, I think that is the bigger message: is how do you validate your market, and that I mean that is.
And this is where discernment comes in as an inventor or business owner. At a certain point, you have to make the decision: is it worth my effort?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people just knee-jerk reaction go, they told me to do it, let me go do it. Like, we love pushback. So we sit at this table a lot, and we say things to people, and they just sit there, and we're like, we're waiting for some kind of validating point from your experience, and they have nothing.
Yeah.
And I mean, we get semi-frustrated because we're like, prove something to us.
Yeah. Yeah. Not everyone wants pushback. A lot of people think they want pushback, but they don't until they get it. Okay.
Pushback's good. It's healthy.
It's how you grow. Letters of intent are only as valuable as the people that are signing them.
Don't go down the rabbit hole where people want you to do activities just to stay busy when it has no real purpose or result to your end game.
There's a whole movie. It's called Horrible Bosses 2. Very popular movie. But in it, they make a bunch of business decisions based on an expected sales order and then goes away. That's kind of what LOIs are to me, right? I've been in meetings with people where they've made all kinds of promises and nothing comes to fruition.
And you compared it to Horrible Bosses too?
Well, it's the same thing that happens is they make a bunch of...
Who's in that movie?
Who's in that movie?
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman. Rhymes
And
with...
somebody else.
Yeah. Jason Sudeikis. The little guy, Charlie Day. Everyone says I sound like him. From It's Always
Who
Sunny
else?
in Philadelphia.
The guy from The Office. Yes. The dentist.
No, that's the hang... Oh, yeah. Is he in that? I don't think so.
Isn't he in that one?
I don't think so. We've really gotten off topic, Bob. The moral of the story is...
Don't watch Horrible Bosses too.
No, that's a great movie. The moral of the story is don't...
You're the only one on the whole crew that saw it.
Yeah, I have great taste in movies. All that proves is that you have terrible taste in movies.
I have awesome taste in movies.
I disagree.
You don't like The Sting?
How did
Dirty
we
Harry?
jump from The Sting and Dirty Harry to Horrible Bosses 2? What is happening?
Happy Gilmore?
We're all over the map right now.
Happy Gilmore is the greatest comedy ever.
You're literally debating against yourself. Nobody's saying it's not.
I feel the hate coming toward me.
I'm a Happy Gilmore fan.
Me too. Poor Carl Weathers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Everybody's got to
laughing at
go
him.
at some time.
He got taken out by an alligator, though.
Yeah, well,
Is
everybody's
that
got to
real
go
or
through
is that the
something.
movie?
No, he lived past that.
He did?
He died.
so happy.
Didn't he die last year?
I think he did.
Rest in peace. So what's the one takeaway? I'm sitting here, I'm going, Bob, I got to validate my product to get investors. What do I do?
Go get customer habits.
Huh?
Prove to me that somebody wants this thing.
But how, Bob? How do I do it?
Customer interviews, discovery, product market fit, feature benefit mapping. Go get some early orders. There's an idea. Think before you just knee-jerk reaction ask because somebody asked for it. If it doesn't make sense to your business, move on. If you're just doing busy work, forget about it because it's not leading you anywhere. You need to get to some metrics, some results. Ideally, you need somebody to buy it with real money to validate or invalidate what you're building.
All right, may I
No,
be
go ahead.
serious
Oh,
now?
you're going to be serious?
Yeah, I'm going to be serious now. The thing I would say is remove yourself from the equation and pretend like you're pitching it to yourself. So like if you came to me and said, hey, here's my business and here's my letter of intent, I'm going to poke a bunch of holes in that. Remove yourself, remove your bias from the equation and do the same thing when it comes to your product and how you're trying to get your own product and market validation. Poke holes in your own theory. Find the weak spots. Because when you go and talk to investors, if you're talking to qualified investors, they should be asking you those questions. And that's my 2 cents.
And always ask why they need it. What are they really looking for?
I mean, and just to play devil's advocate, I think that an LOI can be a good starting point, but I don't think it's the end point. I think that it's the beginning of a conversation with a distributor, buyer, whoever it is, that gets you to an end point. But I don't think it is the end. I don't think it's, I got an LOI, so let's buy $1 million worth of equipment. It's my own risk profile.
And I'll use something we use in the incubator with our interviews. If you can't go talk to a potential customer, you're never going to be able to sell this thing. Like, that's one of our gates. Like, go talk to, we just did all this research. It says you should talk to 45-year-old women with 2 kids for your product. If you can't find 45-year-old women with 2 kids to talk to, you're never going to go find a paying customer.
Yeah. And then you should find a teammate who can do that. Because it's not you.
It's not me. No.
Yeah. I was saying you.
I was saying me.
Okay. I get it. You're not going to do it.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not going to ask you to do it. Anyways, I'm off to
And
find...
you're not going to do it because they don't let you near children.
45-year-old women with 2 kids. I'll see you later.